If you have any questions now, no, not yet. Okay. So in the end of event, we will share how to say shuffle one ticket for conference in Berlin, but I will tell you details later. And in the end, I will say all this organization things, and we will share pizza. Okay, let's go. So blockchain. We will speak about blockchain. A little bit introduction. Oh, there are so many people. Hi, you're just in time.
I'm not.
Yeah, same.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Please take a seat.
Nice to meet you. Sorry for being late.
No, it's okay. So we started with presentation, then it will be second presentation, and in the end it will be some news. So you are just in time.
Very sorry. Are you deep now?
No, it's probably some people can come a bit later. They sometimes late.
Thank you.
So let me introduce myself. I think for a couple of people who still don't know me. Yeah, I started my career as full stack developer. Then I switched to front end. Then last 2 years I work in blockchain as a developer relations engineer. And now again I want to switch to management. So it's a weird long path, I guess. I also very active like public speaker in Google developer community. So I'm a GD expert in web, and also I just got 1 month ago, couple months ago, Microsoft Valuable Professional Award in web and security. So actually because of my some security talks and blockchain talks. So okay, today we speak about blockchain, and firstly I want you to answer me what do you think about blockchain, and I will switch to browser and let's see actually what you will answer. So please share the core code, answer something. It's anonymous, so no one will know who exactly wrote these bad words. It's just for me actually, just to have some kind of feedback and to understand like the audience and etc. And I will understand the vibes of our discussion. So let's go back. I see 3 participants already. Oh, actually there are some good feedback. Who thinks something else about blockchain? I don't know, okay. So 2 more typing. When you finish, I will tell you a story what I thought about blockchain at the beginning. Okay, anonymity, new feature. That's pretty good, I think. Freedom, traditional. Oh, traditional? That's interesting. Blockchain is traditional, okay. You can tell me later what did you mean by that. So, in 2016, I guess, my very close friends from university, he had pretty similar path as me in career. So he started as full stack with PHP, then front end, then 3D. So pretty similar like me. But then he switched to blockchain. And he said that, no, you need to switch to blockchain. There is money there. So you need to go to this area. I was like team lead at our tech front end, and I was thinking like, why? I don't need, I have like my good job here, so everything is fine in Web 2. Please, like, don't touch me with your strange technologies. So yeah, but then it was like more and more information about what's going on. So blockchain, all this like Bitcoin, you know, it's almost 100,000 euros now. So it's like some of my friends, they still think that blockchain is a bubble, like maybe like Bitcoin and coins and cryptocurrencies, okay, some kind of bubble, of course, because it's very volatile. So it's not stable. That's okay. But when I speak about blockchain, I don't speak about cryptocurrency. It's not about that. It's about technology. So what blockchain can give you, and I will try to explain. So why I decided to switch to blockchain, because I like some modern technologies. So when I was working with 3D scanning at Artec 3D, it was very amazing. Next time when we will be in this office, we will try to create for you some demonstration, like how people work, actually what they're doing here, all the scanners. It's very interesting. Yeah, so I like 3D, AR, VR area. Then I thought that blockchain is also very modern and promising technology, and of course now AI. So, and suddenly I found a job in blockchain, and I actually like the community. So, okay, let's go next. Today we will talk about the concept of blockchain, about some obstacles of this technology now, and use cases. Okay, let's start. I don't know if you remember this movie. Even you see, there is even it's so nostalgic. Who watched this movie? No, the net. That's why I decided to become a programmer. But she's hacker actually. So the idea that it's Angela Bennett, Sandra Bullock as an actor, and she was a hacker, but like no normal good hacker, not bad hacker, whatever. And when she found a very specific like I say bug or some strange behavior in application, she started to. So she started to try to find what's going on behind, etc. And they just tried to delete her history. So because database was digital, so we think that modern progress everywhere we have now like GUI share, Kososlugi, DIA. So in all governments, people have their own like digital thing, database with everything, with all your data now. That's like good, but there is the other side, but always there are some hackers who try to hack the system, and Angela Bennett was, so the problem with her that she was, I think I will switch this again. The problem with Angela Bennett was that they tried to absolutely change her identity, so they changed her name, and in all documents she was not Angela Bennett, but Ruth something, so. And she was like drug addicted, criminal, had the criminal records, so all this stuff. That's pretty scary, that someone can hack your life and you have nothing. You don't have a house, you don't have your money, you don't have your name even. So that's scary. Why it can happen? Because of databases, because they store on servers and servers can be hacked, right? So the difference of blockchain, we will look a bit deeper why it can happen with blockchain. And why you can track it much easily with blockchain on such situations. So a blockchain is a solution for her because when you have a blockchain, the idea that it's not one server. So actually, like now, if you have a big company like Google or any big company, they of course have a lot of servers in different countries, but in general, it's still one company. And when we speak about blockchain, it's not company. It's a lot of people. Could be that they store all this data like a database in different computers. So if you hack one person, it doesn't matter. Everyone should somehow like verify before something could change in this like database. Let's call it like this. So in blockchain, there are nodes. It's like different computers. And there are some rules how you can change something, and you need resources for that. So let's go a bit deeper what's the difference between blockchain and typical database. So this is like my picture from my start of my career picture. And before we can, so in PHP, this database, in the MySQL database, you can change everything here. And the problem is blockchain, not problem, but actually it's a feature, it's not a bug, it's a feature of blockchain that you cannot delete anything, you cannot simply edit anything. So all records that's stored on blockchain, they will be there. If you want to change something, it will be a new record that says, okay, let's try to fix this data. It's like log but it's necessary log. No one can delete this log. That's a very big difference from database, because database can have log, but then suddenly someone can delete, like video records. Like they were there, but there are no video records. So in blockchain, it's just not possible. So yeah, for each changes you need to create some new record. Actually, new record into like blockchain, it's small programs, and these small programs, they called smart contracts now. Somehow you change them, like in some, like even blockchain now you can change the smart contract, like basic one, but it all will be in a story that someone made a change and you can see who did this change. Okay, so that's basic understanding. So a bit history path. So in 1990, you can imagine it's such a long time that it was this like scientific research about what they call it like immutable digit record. So the basis of blockchain was even such a long time ago. And immutable, you understand, right? That you cannot mutate the data, so you need to create new like object, new array, some new record for something. It was the beginning of blockchain technology. How we work with transparency. So when you have so many nodes, so many computers, you have like an address, account of this person. You don't know actually who is behind that, but everything transparent, because all records you can trace them. So this record was changed like by this user was initiated, and you can go through all these logs. It will not be something like strange thing. So but at the same time, when we speak about transparency, we need to speak about anonymous. So it's transparent and anonymous at the same time. I think it could be a bit like you can a bit struggle with that, how you can transparent and at the same time anonymous, because your account is not like connected directly. No one should know who is behind your account. So there is like a hash, it's your name, your wallet, your account, and this what actually like a user called that. And with transparency, what I meant also that you can see all blocks, all new records, everything, who did what, and you can do audit trails. It's very good, like an anti-corruption measure, because if someone changed something, everyone can see that. No one can just say that, oh, we lost our books or whatever. So, and how you can see the data, but you cannot like, for example, interact with like this program, smart contracts, if you're not authorized to interact with. It's like someone else's contract. You can see what's going on, but you can't like edit it or say like, okay, send me money instead of them. So you understand, right? So it's very secure technology by default. A lot of clever people worked on that to make it work, but there are also some limits. Like it's probably that it takes time for a new record. So some blockchains, there are plenty of blockchains, and when you work with one, it could take like 15 minutes to wait sometimes to change something. But some are very fast, but it means at the same time that maybe they're not so popular because there are not so many data going there. That's why they're very fast and very cheap. So a lot of like controversial things in different blockchains. So anonymity, I already mentioned that you have a user, you have an account, but you don't know who is behind that. If you need to know, for example, you selling your apartment through like somehow blockchain company who is based on blockchain, like you don't need to see the person. You need to know that this person has money, right? And that he paid that, or she, or they paid for your apartment. But yeah, like in normal world, you have this full name, you have all these contracts, you can also do everything there, but only you will know who exactly behind this account because you do this agreement. But no one else will see everything there. They will see only account. So it's anonymous for the whole world. Okay, how blockchain, like if you want to see, because I'm like UI person more, I want to visualize everything, and like that's a primitive way how you can see blockchain. It's a chain. Sometimes blockchain consists of several chains. Sometimes they connect with each other in very strange way, like stars, not stars, or parallel. Like there are chains who did like, created several chains, and they somehow connected to each other. So what's inside this block? A different block. So when you try to send some new data into blockchain, they're not the blocks not created just with your data. A lot of people can do at the same time some stuff, and it all could be connected into one block, like gather it into one block. What could be inside block? It's of course data. It's data about like when this block was created, some like smart contract inside these blocks, and it always has links to previous blocks, so it will be a list. Okay. Then all these blocks, like why all of them secure somehow? Blockchain use cryptography a lot, and I guess you know already that like how we store passwords. Who's from full stack here? Or backend? So you understand what is hash function. So the idea that all blocks, they also use in most of the blockchain, they use very good cryptographic algorithms to make this hash to create a block. So all links to previous block, to current block, they're all secured with, not secured, but the link to this block is a hash, and at the same time you store data with different crypto algorithms. So here I just wanted to show that what's the most important part of hash functions, that you cannot, for example, it's about just like password or some data. When you change at least one symbol in the whole string, the whole hash will be changed. So if you just, I mean, if you try to somehow to decrypt the data, it will be very hard for you to decrypt, because even like uppercase and lowercase, it changes drastically the hash result. So that's important. And also when you create a block, also this block has a hash. So all this data inside. So next thing by history, what we have, it's cryptographic secure chains. So people started to create these chains, like small blockchains, in 2000. So it's pretty old already, like 2025 old. Consensus. So here I just want to explain that when you try to create a new block, there are different ways how to do that. So before, people bought a lot of video cards, and they now very expensive because of that, poor gamers, because the consensus algorithm how to create a new block was based on who will find faster the result, the correct hash regarding some kind of algorithm. And all computers at the same time, they started to calculate this hash with some specific, like 000, for example, in the beginning. And it's a huge waste of energy, right? Actually, AI, it's not for this talk, but AI is also a very huge waste of your energy. Like when you create new pictures, it costs a lot. So, yeah. It called proof of work at the beginning, so it was not very eco-friendly way how to create a block, because everyone doing it at the same time, and because who is doing it fast, and it could be any person like who is doing that. So yeah, and also because of 51% attack, but I will explain this a bit later on the presentation. So it was some kind of not breach, but weak point of this consensus algorithm. Then proof of work that I just told you, it was in 2004 created this algorithm how a lot of decentralized computers can like agreed upon creating the block together. And when we create new block, we need to think about that it's not only like creating a hash, it's quite complex and it also should be verified by all computers. So when one computer, one node found a good hash, all other like computers, nodes, they need to verify that everything, that this hash actually has like previous to, has a link to previous block, it's correct, and all like history will not be broken. So that's very important because otherwise you can like have one blockchain and then suddenly someone created their whole new version, right? So it's all very secure. And okay, next part. Do you know Satoshi Nakamoto? I mean, not in person.
No.
But have you heard? So Satoshi Nakamoto, it was some person in the world that created like this idea how was Bitcoin created at the beginning. So it was an idea how we can decentralize the decentralized like exchange some, for example, currency between all countries, whatever, because you know now world is so, how to say, complex. We have so many problems between sending money, all the SWIFT, especially when there is a war or catastrophic, right? Or for example, volatile state currency. For example, I just heard that, not just heard, but heard more stories about African country like Uganda and Zimbabwe, several countries. Yes, they had very big problem that now their currency is not very stable. So you had your coin was like $6, for example, right?
Hyperinflation.
Yeah, 6 coins was $1 opposite, and now 20, and then it's 60 coins to $1. So it's so bad for people, you know, the money just like nothing, especially it happens with war again, with some catastrophic, etc. So it's a mess, and even SWIFT is quite expensive when you try to send money from America or to Latin America. You have some troubles, you need like a Revolut or PayPal or something just to minify your taxes for that, for exchanging. And so the idea that it should be secure, you should not be afraid. You should not be afraid because people, they trust banks, right? And the idea was to make the technology so secure that you can trust technology because you can trust math, right? So, that it should be mutable ledger. So it's a very big, like again, database, ledger, something that cannot be destroyed by one person or whatever. So everything stored, all changes. So it was Satoshi idea in 2008, and here a very interesting thing about him that he just disappeared. And as far as I know, like he had some bitcoins, but they're not moving. So maybe he died. Unfortunately, I don't know, but nothing happens with his account. So yeah, here it was fun without sound. So it was a fun episode from Simpsons about NFT. Do you know what is NFT? Have you heard about that? So non-fungible token. It's like people create something, art for example. Now it's quite good for designers actually. They create art, it costs some money, or you can use it like auction. It can be cost more and more, everyone wants to buy it. And here it's a fun story how fast you're changing. So you cost a lot and then you cost nothing. That's volatile world of crypto, and the NFT is part like of crypto world. It's digital asset. So you have your, I don't know, photography, right? For example, and if this photography could be digital photograph, photo, and it could cost a lot of money, for example, or your art, or your painting, whatever. So it's actually very good and useful for artists. Why? Because you can have a record that, okay, you created this, you're first one who did this, and then if you buy it, you sell it. You can also send physical copy, but also it will be a record that you are a new owner of this asset. So that's useful case, but it's some kind of fun. It was happened in 2014, the idea of NFT. Actually, also I wanted to ask you, have you heard, I don't have it in the presentation, have you heard about fiat money? So fiat money, it's actually our money. So all these euros, dollars, rubles, hryvnias, whatever you have in your country, so it's all fiat money. It's called like that. And so money from digital world we call cryptocurrency. So, and when you do some exchange or whatever, you need to set fiat or crypto. Okay, and there are also stable coins, but I will talk maybe about it. So smart contracts, Ethereum. When we started to create these digital assets, we wanted to do something with that, like some movements with that, like selling that somehow, and to explain what rules could be for that. And before we had only Bitcoin, only cryptocurrency that you can exchange money somehow. But there were no programs. You can't do something with this money, but you want to do something with this money. You can sign something, buy something for money, not only exchange money. So, and it could be a lot of conditions with these programs, and that's what was Ethereum. It's another big, new era of blockchain world. It's just another blockchain that based on smart contracts. So it's basically program. You write it on Solidity language. Solidity language was created as simple as it's JavaScript for people, because there are a lot of front-enders in the world because it's very easy to write JavaScript. I'm not sure that now it's very easy with all this framework stuff. It's huge actually, but I mean that to write some animation on JavaScript or to write some data manipulations, it's some kind of much easier than on I don't know, C++ maybe. But actually C++ also not so hard when you do some simple things. So okay, it was in 2015, and that's what we have now. We have a lot of new blockchains that actually do the same work like Ethereum created. So they create smart contracts with different languages. There is Solidity, there is also Rust, very popular language, and what else people write? So I think Go people use Go for smart contracts, but it depends on the blockchain. Okay, the concept, how does it work? So blockchain, it's not something that you just change database to blockchain. It's not like this, because blockchain something is very slow. You cannot rely just on keeping data, just writing directly to blockchain. Also, extracting data from blockchain, it takes time, because it's not easy, such easy thing how we do it now with our typical database. So how does it work? For example, if you want something immutable and you want to have a story of everything, of course you still need to have your typical backend that just will be connected to blockchain. And in some moments you can duplicate something, you created a user, and because in blockchain it takes time to update something, you just keep it here, and then when times come you update the chain itself. So yeah, it works like this, and sometimes you have data inside blockchain, and not all data should be in blockchain. For example, GDPR policy, we cannot keep all data public, and still if it's anonymous, we cannot keep all full names and etc. inside blockchain. That's why we prefer to have database for users, and then all mechanism with some settings, like some your agreements, what you need to do on blockchain, you can do it there. There are very famous like Hyperledger, Fabric, Blockchain, Corda, Quorum. It's just like names of blockchain that now actually actively used already in different enterprise solutions. Let's speak a bit how smart contract works. So it's a program by default, just like there are variables there are like sender and like recipient who is getting everything. And in this program, you just write set of conditions in like different kind of languages, and then there is typical business logic how smart contract should work. Just you need to be careful, especially if you write on Solidity, because Solidity again is like close to JavaScript. You can have a lot of problems, and in the beginning it was several like famous things, famous situations when it was like internal loop, for example, with Solidity, that no one could get money or money went somewhere else. So it's easy to write on Solidity not secure code. That's why you need to be very careful. That's why actually a lot of other blockchains were created, because when you write on Rust or for example Pact, my previous company where I work, it's much more secure. It's less like opportunity to make a mistake with such important things. But on Solidity still it's most popular blockchain for writing smart contracts. So you write this all logics and then you create a block, pack it into blockchain, and then smart contract there. Even some smart contract, they can be reusable. So you can do like a template, for example, for doing something on blockchain, and then other people can use the same rules for their, if their situation works with it. You just change, you use the same smart contract, just change variables, who's like recipient, who's the sender. So then yes, you put it into blockchain and everything, and all node updates and verify this if everything fine. Okay, and also actually I wanted to say here that when you write something, you're just not putting it into blockchain. In blockchain world and crypto world, people call it Web3 world, there is still this rule that community and like ambassadors of each blockchain, they check your code before you put like your smart contract. So you try to write something, and quite often when it's a really important thing, people will look through your code because it's like open source, and they can say like here could be a breach, for example, or it could be he could lose something. It's good part. So community is quite strong. How does it work? It's just like repeating that we define what will be agreement, what variables we need for this agreement, then we put conditions and all business logic behind that, then we encrypt it into block, execute, and we put it into blockchain. Okay, then next part, obstacles. I told you that I will speak about stable coins. I think now is the time. So there are a lot of terms in blockchain world. That's a problem. Actually, I was very scary when I started, and because it's just like, you know, it's not only learning new language, it's learning the whole ecosystem. It's so many things, and they're quite important because somehow in the end they will connect it to someone's money, and that's like not just like writing button and changing the colors. So yeah, NFT guys, I will not explain all here terms. I just want to mention ZK, zero knowledge. It's very interesting new technology. I'm thinking maybe just like even create a talk about that. So blockchain is very popular. That the idea behind zero knowledge, that for example, when you buy a pizza somewhere, you just like no, not pizza. Better example, alcohol. When you want to buy alcohol, people sometimes ask, show me your passport. And you don't want that this seller knows your full name, for example. Maybe you have
or address. Or address.
Oh, address, yeah, also good. But it depends also. If it's delivery, you need to give them only address. And also you need to give them that you are over 18, right? Like in some country over 21, so it doesn't matter. So the idea that you show people only what they need to know, and they trust, just trust, because of whole system is very secure and blah blah blah. You cannot put some wrong data. So zero knowledge, it's quite complex thing, and it's hard to implement actually for developers somehow. But I wanted to speak about stable coins. Also, that stable coins, it's somehow analog of our dollar, US dollar mostly, in crypto world, because fiat money and crypto money, when you put money into crypto, your euros put into crypto money, they somehow now like in crypto world. But for example, if you use this how it's called, exchanges different to work with this different kind of money. So you put your, for example, fiat money in the beginning because you don't have crypto, you want to buy, for example, crypto, right? And then you have only crypto. And stable coins, it's something not so volatile like Bitcoin, like Ethereum coin, like other coins, for example. And the idea is that, for example, you want to have your crypto money just in case, to keep them there, to pay something, but at the same time you don't want them to be so changeable, so fast. You want them stable. That's why they call stable coins. So it's absolute analog. There are different ways how to keep them stable. So it's also a long story. We will not speak about that. And but it still works. Some companies, unfortunately, they do not very good things, and it doesn't work how it's supposed to be. It was some stories also, but now we have like couple of them, and they were pretty good. They work fine. They're very stable. That's how actually Africa dealing. So what I wanted to finish, that stable coin for them is much more stable than the currency of their country. You can imagine that, and that's why for us, for European people, all this crypto is like sometimes fun, sometimes trading, sometimes like it's a work. But for African people, it's actually the way how to survive, because there is no other option to have normal money, stable money. So that's another like world for us a bit. Technical knowledge requirements. So another problem that it's very complex topic. It's not only about terms. You can know terms, but you need also to know backend, front end, at least understand. When I was working, I was not a developer. Last year with Cadena, I was developer relations engineer, but I needed to understand what's going on. I looked at this like smart contracts, what they wrote, tried to understand what actually this, what's happening here. So also, if you write the code, you need to understand basics of cryptography and finance principles. How does it work? Also, like a bank system, because sometimes you need to emulate this system for some projects. And you need to look at last trends in Web3, because it was fun actually. I heard how some blockchain creators now of quite famous blockchain, when they had a question from people in the hall after the talk, like, is it like, are you mentioning that it's like in this like blockchain, like it will be similar or what? And the guy on the stage said, actually, I'm not sure how it's in this blockchain. But for me, I think that if you're trying to create something new, you're like a creator of blockchain, you try to be in trend and to do something, you need to see all your competitors. You need to look what other people already created. Because in our technology world, that's a big problem, that we do sometimes something what already was in our project. Come on. So for that, actually, very good thing to use AI now. Maybe I will finally explain us that, oh, you're trying to write this wheel again, to create this wheel again, because it was created there already. So yeah, it's a long topic. I can speak a lot about different things. So user-friendly interfaces. It was like this before, and now it's much better. I will also explain a bit about that. And seed phrase. You need to remember this 12 words. You need to keep them somewhere safe, especially if you don't have like password manager. My previous talk, so you don't know where to store them. You're so afraid. And this private key, what is it? Like if I forgot this private key, so I don't have access to my money somehow, or someone took my private key. They have my money there, so it's not user friendly. Also, some countries actually they regulated. I guess that in US now things will be much better with new elections. So let's see. Not actually so happy about them, but the crypto world I think will grow in America. China banned. China is a very interesting thing that like officially it says that they don't like cryptocurrency at all. But a lot of companies doing that there. It's so fun. I don't know how does it work for them. So a lot of this GDPR also that you don't put anything in blockchain that is like private, sensitive data, etc. European, so a lot of different regulations. You need to be always very careful about in what jurisdictions are you trying to sell something with crypto. So crypto regulation map for last year. So you see that China, like it should be absolutely banned, but as far as I know from Chinese, it's not so banned, so they still work with it. It's so interesting for me. So yeah, but it still works. So a lot of new companies they appear. And also this bad situation. If you watch this movie from Quadriga about Quadriga company, this guy was like a founder of this company, and it's Netflix. Movie, like documentary about this guy. I don't remember actually his name, but doesn't matter. So the idea that he was doing like exchange, helping people, everyone trusted him, etc., etc. But then he suddenly died in India because of in India it's quite like easy to eat something, and he was not from India. It was hard for his stomach to digest. A lot of people like actually have something with stomach, but not everyone dies, of course. The problem that he really just died, and his girlfriend, his wife, I think maybe even, she was like there. So the people in community, they kept money in this exchange thing. They put a lot of money there. They trusted him. They knew him in person sometimes. And they tried to do an investigation. What's going on? Maybe he just disappeared with all the money. But then it was investigation, and actually he really died. But it was more. Actually, he did this this thing when you put money into exchange, and then you use this money in some schemes to I don't know, shuffle money somehow there.
Commingle?
I don't know.
When you take your investors' money and place to another.
Yeah, so he tried to do something like that, but all money. So he doesn't actually have anything on their accounts of this exchange thing. So that's a big problem, and scam. It's a very big problem. But again, it's like with Telegram. I always like see some parallels. Telegram is used by terrorists, right? Like sometimes. But it's also very nice browser, very nice messenger at the same time, and it helps a lot of people. But people always will use the same technologies like AI. They use already AI. In my last talk, I explained how fast with the AI now you can hack the password with 16 digits, like that. So it's not the problem of blockchain or cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency saves lives in Africa, but you need to think like who is using that and what's the company, and to check. Sometimes even good companies, they're actually not good companies. You need to be careful. Even when you go to some Web2 company, sometimes these companies, they're doing some strange things. I'm not speaking about label. So yeah, social engineering also, of course. So in this summer I was in Belgium. It was a SCC7, I think, conference. Usually blockchain conferences, they're very big. It's 1 week. It's so many side events. You're like your head like blown. And people want your money because already people there, they knew that it will be a lot of crypto female there for this conference, and they knew what like person they want, and they stole, you know what? Not the wallets, they stole the crypto keys, hardcore key that I explained also in my previous talk in spring. So people, they already advanced also, social engineering advanced again with AI, phishing is advanced, so everything is going more complex and more. And all this very scary. And 51% attack, it's when, like, you know, there are so many nodes, and when people try to create like new nodes and they like become trustful somehow, and then they sometimes can have 51% of all nodes, and they just can do whatever they want because the previous consensus proof of work for Ethereum work. Like if you have like many computers, maybe you can, the probability that you will calculate the hash with good computers much more. So you can somehow trick the system. But again, 51%, I will continue later with that. Now they solved it somehow. Now it's a bit harder. So here just like how much money the guy hacked the system, and they trying to contact the hacker, and they didn't get any reply, and he was like a white hacker, because actually sometimes hackers, they just like return money back. They just show that your system is not working. That's so fun. That's cute, clever guys. Okay, that's also a bit scary for us, right? When we do some not related with money business, but okay. Now use cases. I took a mortgage in Luxembourg. So do you know how much money I paid for tax for notary?
10%, 5%.
About 20,000 euros I paid just for notary. That's the reason to make everything in smart contracts, because if you have smart contract for Luxembourg, for buying, getting a mortgage, you just pay a small transaction fee because you just change the data. The whole this document agreement was like, I guess 5 pages, where they change probably just bank name, my name, seller name, and the price of their apartment. They even don't like explain what's in the apartment. They have address, my name, and their name, and they got such big money for them. I think it's not fair world, right? Or I just chose the wrong profession. So yeah, and smart contract and selling apartments with smart contract is a solution of such big taxes for that. There is already real estate. I don't remember the country, probably America. So they work. Of course, not each seller wants to sell their apartment with blockchain, with smart contracts, but there are some such people who are not afraid of having money in crypto. So it works already for someone. There are so many companies already who are using somehow blockchain for logistic, for example. It's very important for logistic, you know, because you got some package, and with all this database, because a lot of third-party companies, and they all have their own database, and data they stole, they are lost somehow in this old system. And when you have blockchain, you have everything tracked. Like this package was here, here, here. No one can delete anything. You just know where it's stuck. So it's much easier. So FedEx, Amazon Web Services, I don't know actually for what they actually use, but DHL, FedEx, yes, logistic, and Nestle as well. So financial transactions, yes, of course, it's that you change, you send money for your native, for example, country. I'm not from Luxembourg. And when the war started, it was a big problem. I didn't use it like for for changing money, but now, for example, I want to try to sell my apartment in my native country, and now I need to think how I can get my money back, because there is no way for me now to get my money back. I'm not going to this country to take it by cash. No way. So it's really hard problem, and it helps somehow. It could help. Then IBM Food Trust also, they have all the system, and they, you see, prevent food fraud So it's efficient, it's good, it's transparent. People already use it. And there is even statistics that it enables 31 billion of food savings. So how much money blockchain saved them? People took just food or something. I don't know how exactly the fraud was there. Supply chain management, okay, then loyalty also, yes, tokenization is very powerful thing now. And Lufthansa, it was pilot project, I don't know if they use it, it's still now. And so you can use like rewards or some coins inside your like ecosystem, and it was quite fine. I think it also will be good very for like technical conferences, for example. You can have some coins for your food or for something. It's simplified because now we usually have like this token, plastic or paper token, and it's like old school. Voting system in America, there are a lot of like small, not governments, but regional governments who are actually using blockchain for voting already. Of course, it's because it's really should be secure. If you have like open source code for your smart contract, everyone knows what's going on there. You can use it like bravely. Identify verification. Yeah, some companies use, a lot of actually companies in blockchain, they work on identification of users, and so you can verify yourself. But again, the data, they're not stored on blockchain, but with blockchain they're like somehow I think verified. I don't know like how they actually did it behind all their architecture. Then what I wanted to say that before, now it's much better with the blockchain registration, WebAuthn standard, new standard, as I also mentioned in my pre-talk. So with your biometric phrase, you can now log in without all these seed phrases. And there are already examples how you just like with your face create your account just like in a couple seconds, and then signing in again with your face into that. And with the same face or fingerprint, like your biometric or the key, the most secure way for now, the hardware key, you can just like log in, just touch with your phone, for example, or put inside this key, and immediately you create your account. For any website, Web2 or blockchain, but in blockchain it was like very big problem that it's, because it should be very secure, it's hard to create an account. Now it's much easier, everything is fast. And also they changed proof of stake, so as I said, that it was 51% attack, the problem, and now they did that it's how much money you have. For example, if you're on Ethereum and you have a big like record already, like you're a miner, you know what is miner. So miners, they were like proof of work people. Now
they're nodes essentially.
Huh?
They're nodes essentially. Node processors.
Node processors.
They're miners.
I mean, it was like on proof of work, it were miners. Now it's more based on how much like money, simply like how much money you have, and it means that if you have more money, then for attack of 51%, you need to have 51% of whole money in the in this chain. It's a huge effort. So even if you are rich, it's now very hard. It was their solution. Maybe it's not perfect now, but it was their solution for the problem that they had. You wanted to say something?
You do have 55%, essentially have to be very rich, so you
Yeah.
have to buy into the system.
Yeah, it's another
But-
problem also.
But if you buy in so much into it, and why would you want to destroy it? You already
Yeah.
invested in it, so
Yeah.
it kind of defeats the
Yeah.
point.
That's a good point. Yeah, very good point. So somehow for now it's like this. Maybe in future it will be changed again. Areas where blockchain can be used everywhere. So you have art. We already said about NFT. Also, I saw another example that the girl that she just like she drew a real painting, and they had some device like micro scheme near this on this painting, and this device actually has a lot of sensors, like what's the temperature, what's like conditions for this painting, and all this data going to blockchain. They store there. So, and there are like they have a lot of. It's their business to do this actually, sensors for different purposes, like again smart home, and so she sold a lot of these paintings actually already with these sensors, and it's just like for fun. It's an art, but at the same time it's clever art because you know always condition of your art because painting needs special temperature and everything's stored in blockchain like in immutable documents. So art, retail, again, houses, health, everywhere, logistics. So you can everywhere to reduce the problem with fraud and some corruption. Where you have blockchain users mostly in Asia now, Europe second one, in America a bit less. I guess it was because it was very regulated before. So a lot of blockchain because America actually very like a business country, right? But they were somehow blocked by government. But I guess now it will grow. So by year it's like expectation how much will be market size, how much money in blockchain industry. You see, it's huge. So you think it's bubble? Yeah, maybe it's a bubble, but it still works. I mean, it could somehow just like destroy it if someone will find, I don't know, a breach or something that everyone could just like lose the data or whatever. But now it's quite good. So I don't tell you like it's not advice to invest or whatever, but the technology actually it's worth to try to use it for businesses. And the last small part, blockchain salary. So average salary of blockchain developer is bigger. It's approximately $144K per year. It's in, I think it's in the whole world. It's not in the region. Yeah, and it could be really very good salary. How to learn? Crypto Zombies was one of the first fun way to learn Solidity language, smart contracts. It's like a game, and you can start to learn how to send your smart contract, how to deploy it into blockchain, and of course there are a lot of plenty easy courses. And how to use it? There are different already companies who created cards. You can just pay with that. It's very easy, really, trust me. And there's no problem. And they even have this, you know, stable investments fund. For example, I'm just used like that in my native country. It was some, you can, if you have some money that you don't touch, you can get like 6% yearly investment rate. In Europe, it's like not working. I asked in BGL, like, do you have something? They said like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, 0 something per year. I don't know, 2% per year. It's like, it's not working here, but here it's working. 6%, you just keep your money like freeze for 1 week and you get 6%. So that's pretty good. Events, SEC, DEFCON, Denver Consensus. If you want to visit conference, sometimes you can buy a ticket for 1 day, sometimes for a week, as you wish. And there are plenty side events. My main point is you can trust people, you can trust companies, but you need to verify. In Russian, it's like доверяй, проверяй. So you always need to check what exactly, whom you trust and what you're doing. So be skeptic. So thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions?
Question: could we make the analogy that smart contracts are sort of the what stored procedure are for databases?
Can you repeat please?
So stored procedures are for databases, what smart contracts are for blockchains? Could be that?
Store procedures,
Yes.
smart contracts. I didn't get connection. Sorry.
I was asked that the question. Could the analogy be good analogy, but what stored procedure are for database, smart contracts are for blockchain?
You mean that smart contract is just program that helps you?
Doesn't
to
it
do
have to
something.
be on the blockchain? It has to be on the blockchain. Right?
Smart contract?
Yes.
It should be inside there. It's like you put your contract, your piece of code with everything, but again, it can be reusable. There's a difference with that. So it's some kind of program, like it and our application there. It's working.
What this code do?
Okay.
The smart contract? It depends what you want. So business logics depends on business case. It can sell apartments, or it can just like a smart contract. You can reuse it. For example, some simple case. The one of the popular case I think is now POA, proof of attendance protocol. They call it like that. It's when you come to some event, for example, or you met a person. You can just like sign it with your account, with your wallet account. It's equals to wallet, and you can sign it and say that okay, I visited this event, and this smart contract reused by any user. So you just like sign it, just one sign for any contract. But it's again, you need to get the QR code for this contract to be signed. So it's not all actually very secure because everyone can sign it if you have a QR code. I don't like that. But it could be much harder. For example, it could be double signed from a person who saw you there and from you. Then it could be good. On Vox Days, I showed the example how I did a photo. And we signed this photo together. I think in Luxembourg Jazz, did we do that? No?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so on Vox Days it was just like 6 people also who signed my photo, and it means that like they all like voted that they were on this event with me. So it's like it's multiple. It's smart contract that could be signed not only for one person but for several people. It's also a complex version, but it could be anything in any kind of industry. You can use it. Just like people, I think the problem in blockchain that businessmen, they have ideas, they don't have developers. Developers don't have ideas, they have skills, and they build something for developers. They don't feel the market, so that's why not so many companies are profitable somehow. So you need to have revenue. You need to do some real business thing. Like I like examples with logistics because they help people. Or Africa case, they even work with government. Cambodia also, they work with government. They just like have official resource with government on blockchain. That's very cute.
I have a question. You said about this energy comparison. So
Yeah.
the AI used much more, yes, for sure, but blockchain not so much requires, right?
I think when it was proof of work for Ethereum, that was the biggest problem. Now it's much easier because not each blockchain has now proof of work. Still some, for example, my previous company, they're still on proof of work, but their algorithm not so hard.
Mhm.
So they choose Blake 2, I think, hash algorithm, and it's quite fast calculating data. So they try to do some measurements, and it's quite echo. Even with proof of work, you just need to have fast hash function for everything.
Yeah, because for example, I know the comparison. Like for example, this one request to AI, it's like you can ask 6 times for Google, for example.
Yeah.
So something like that. So maybe you know the comparison to Bitcoin or just.
I don't know, but yeah, it would be interesting to research this stuff. But I think AI now, I don't know how they will solve this. We
They
have.
just built own nuclear power.
Yeah. Still, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. So I have like different opinions about it.
I also have a question, which is more on the technical side.
Yeah.
Since all this distributed ledger is basically distributed to all the nodes, right? This ledger.
Yeah.
And anyway, this ledger stores all the transactions and is, like you said, a log between everything that happened from the start of the blockchain till the current moment, right?
Yeah.
That means that this log will just grow. I mean, we are sure it will grow infinitely.
Yeah.
The first question is, how is this data stored in what form on these machines? And second of all, what's going to happen because it's going to grow so much? Then, since it's going to grow infinitely, it's clear that at some point you have to increase the memory somehow, right?
Yeah.
So how is this problem being tackled?
As far as I tried to also ask this question and try to go deeper, I found that they actually somehow did not store everything on each computer. It's one thing, and also they hash it very, very much. So they minify it a lot, and it becomes bigger and bigger, right? But they somehow I didn't get what exactly they just delete, because they can't delete it, right? But I think they just somehow split the data maybe between nodes. So, you know, like servers in Web2 world as well. Sometimes you have this part here and this part here. So they work on this, because before it was one size, and now it's really big already, Ethereum part. Right. And they already did some, so they started to minify it much, much more. And they started somehow to hide unnecessary information, because there are so many smart contracts that no one uses. I guess they try to somehow calculate it and not keep everything on each laptop, on each machine.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's an interesting question. It would be nice to go deep into that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, but one more question on the same topic. How blockchain can tackle a blackout? For
When
example,
everything closed, you mean?
when we don't have access for the half of the network.
Again, they basically should have like.
The Starlink.
They basically, you mean if some users they're not active?
Yeah, when half of the network is now offline.
I don't know how much they need to do it, because for example, if even one found like a hash and it's working already, so it's good, and some verified, I don't know how much they need. Maybe it's some kind of quorum or something.
There is one.
We have 51%.
There is one blockchain that when you have a wallet, essentially you have a node. So you actually carry a copy of the entire blockchain with you that proves your.
Once the rest of blockchain will restore, if this transaction could be lost, if we have like mine.
If you have a copy of the blockchain, you don't care about the rest of the network, essentially.
But if, for example, we split this for two parts, for example, we lost a transatlantic cable, and two parts start growing.
Yeah, but again, when everyone will be, so I don't know how it works when maybe it just delayed, maybe, but probably it could be a problem that could be quite often. So I think, you want to, maybe you know.
I think if you split, if the blockchain splits, you listen to the longest one. So because when you split, it means that you have some incorrect information, right? And correct information. So I mean like this. And then if one person wants to create incorrect information, it needs to produce the same amount of blockchains as the rest of half of the network.
But they still need some quorum to create like a block, and the question is, you're right, that they look at the longest verified, of course, but also I saw several times when I tried to create some transactions on blockchain, it was happening that you don't have enough gas. I didn't mention it here because it's a bit harder to explain and longer. So sometimes you don't have enough gas to create a block, and you need to spend again. You spend already gas for try, but then you try it again, and when you don't have enough gas, your information will not be put into exact block. It's complex.
We probably have some problem with merging all this data.
There is no merging. If you want, your block just will not be added by default, like I mentioned, like in my case, when it was not enough, allocated gas for it. Gas is like tax, let's say it like that, tax for your transaction. If you don't have enough, your block will not be created, and someone else created already block, right, with others' data, and you need to try it again. that your data will be in next block. So somehow like that. But I really don't know the answer with quorum. So how much people need to be actually online? 51%. That's maybe yes, just 51%. But yeah, what happened if everyone just like switched off or like half? Then I guess maybe you just need to wait. That's. But I will ask. I will check. Yes, everything. So any more questions? Because next speaker is waiting for us.